if you're interested in pursuing this story of Parkinson's disease and dopamine networks, particularly the nigrostriatal pathway further, there's an excellent book called The Case of the Frozen Addicts, actually, which was written by J. William Langston, who's now the director of a Parkinson's center down at Stanford University. But he actually got his start when he encountered a number of very young people, actually, in their teens and early 20s, who were exhibiting signs of Parkinson's disease. They were slow in terms of movement. They were getting frozen in place. They had tremor. They had all the symptoms of Parkinson's disease. And it turned out that their substantia nigra, remember that one of those two brainstem sources of dopamine, right? The one that actually projects into the striatum, into the basal ganglia, the nigrostriatal pathway, had degenerated significantly. And it turned out that these individuals were involved in manufacturing heroin, but using a process that actually produced a chemical called MPTP, which looks a bit like dopamine, actually. But it turned out it's what we call a free radical. It actually reacts with everything around it, proteins, genetic material, etc. And this byproduct was actually taken up into their bodies, transported through the circulation, crossed the blood-brain barrier, and was pulled into, selectively, dopamine cells, and it damaged the mitochondria. It actually damaged the organelles in those cells, those dopamine neurons that actually generate ATP to run all the machines in a cell. So these neurons, the substantia nigra neurons, started to die, and they died off significantly to the point where these young people actually develop Parkinson's disease. So this is quite an interesting story if you're interested in pursuing this further.